All right, so that war happened, right? And that was a '90s war, and it ended as well, right?
It ended at some point, yeah.
All right, so fast forward to 2011, 2012. Chicago is starting to be recognized for drill music. What are you doing when drill music popped onto the scene?
First of all, before I got my hands on it, I was promoting. I was doing concert promotion, party promotion, um, working at the radio station. And it was just so crazy because around that time I lost my little brother too. Hey, rest in peace, man, rude boy. Um,
Can you get into that a little bit?
mm, really ain't nothing much to get into because I really don't know, the depths of what really happened. It's still a mystery.
All right, so let me start you off then, right? Where was you at when you woke up the day that your brother was killed?
When I woke up, I was on the next block when my brother got killed.
So you wake up like it's an ordinary morning.
Ordinary day.
You get breakfast. Around what time did you hear your brother was killed?
It was at night. It was like it was during the late. I had left home. I was living in Matson at the time. Matson, Illinois, at the time was a south suburb, and I had just came back from Atlanta with my little brother, watching my sister get married, and I hadn't seen my brother for a couple of days, and I was like, I'm gonna go to the hood, go check on my little bro. So as I'm riding through the hood to go check on my little bro, I stopped to see, another family member who I was talking to at the time. And we standing there, and next we hear shots. And somebody came out of nowhere like, man, Rashad just got killed. I said, who? Rashad who? My little brother? And it was like, before I knew it, they was like, yeah. So I found out what the actual incident took place. And when I went around there, they had him sitting in the ambulance. And they wouldn't let me to the ambulance. All I know is I snapped. Because I feel like, why y'all ain't taking me to the hospital? What is y'all sitting right here for? I almost went to jail because I snapped on the police, but they didn't charge me. You know what I'm saying? I kind of got belligerent. You know what I'm saying? Really out my body. And I wasn't trying to hear nothing they was talking about. And, and to be that close and to know that that's somebody that come out the same wound you come out of, that's traumatized.
How did that affect your mental health?
That shit put me in the stage of depression. I didn't even know it. I had no idea. I was depressed. I went back to work trying to, stay busy. I was still promoting, still doing shows, still doing concerts. I wouldn't stop working, and it's like it actually messed me up, like mentally, because it's like I've lost close people, but I had never lost nobody that came from the same womb. You know what I'm saying? As me. That was too close. So that was something new to me. A loss is a hurt, but it's different. It's just like if a person lose a mother, you still got your mama. You can't say you understand they go to. But if a person lost a sibling, and I lost a sibling, we can kind of relate, because each situation is different, and the way that a person meets their demise or they end is different. So it kind of affects you in so many ways, because you feel like you was the one out there doing all the bad shit. You know what I'm saying? Doing all the, the hood shit, and you feel like, man, shit, why you didn't take me? Me type of person I am. That's how I feel. Like, why you didn't take me? I'm the one out here living by the gun. Why I didn't die by the gun? You know what I'm saying? Why you had to take him when he hadn't even had had a chance to live yet? If that makes sense.
All right, it does make sense to me. Your little brother gets killed, and you're still working. What was the next step after that, trying to heal?
Didn't know how. I broke down. When you go through a depression and you don't deal with it, it's good, because we need to talk about mental health, because it comes from different points, from all type of ways. It really puts you in a state of depression if you don't seek help for that, man, you really have a nervous breakdown, and at any given moment, you can just fuck around and pop and snap. I feel like when my brother died, I lost a part of me.
All right, so you have to continue, and you steady working.
Study work.
So what goes on next after that situation happened?
I just keep going. I keep going. I end up around that time meeting Durk, managing him, getting him ready, putting him with a guy by the name of Paris Bueller, who was a member of um, band camp that was started with Pumac. Um, Most people know him by Young Chop. It was Young Chop, Pumac, and Paris Bueller. Those were the three that started band camp. And me and Bueller was kind of tight and close at the time. That was like another little brother of mine that I adopted. And then we ran into Durk. I had threw a show with one of the little guys from he's from the low end, but ended up migrating to the hundreds, named Rome. And then it was a female that was hot at the time named Shady.
Are you talking about the same Rome that was friends with Zack TV?
Yeah, that Rome.
All right, so how did you meet Rome and what's going on?
One of my homies, rest in peace to Rome. I mean, not Rome, but rest in peace to Ears. I had a homie that was a four-corner hustler named Ears, another little brother. And I met Rome through Ears, but I got more acquainted with Rome when Ears had passed and we was at the repass, and me and Rome was rapping together. It started off as a session, and we just was going crazy, like in the alley, and everybody was around us. It was like, you know what I'm saying? We going back and forth, and we was just gone. Like he gave me my props, I gave him his. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we end up meeting. Then we end up doing some music together. Later on down the line, man, Rome actually got a song or two out there that never really got released. But I had a cousin named Aisha Renee, and she used to take me she the first one that took me to the studio when I got out and put me on a song called Bitch Ass Nigga. We did that. That's around the time that me and you was getting more acquainted and trying to do music and trying to put a movement together. So that's how I end up meeting Ron.
Shout out to Aisha Renee.
Yeah.
Great artist from Chicago. You guys gotta look her up.
Female artist, man. Most definitely.
Look her up, you know what I'm saying? Check her music out. Drop the comments, drop the likes. All right, Fokus Da Konnect. So you meet Rome. You're rapping with Rome. Did you ever meet Zack TV?
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about Zack?
You know what? I would like M.O.P because M.O.P watched him grow up, and he kind of raised Zack. I knew Zack from what he did. He built. I met Zack when he first came home from the penitentiary. He picked up the camera. Actually, it's so crazy. Me and Ron was in the studio putting together a track. I had walked in the studio. He was in there with a producer named Super that used to be a part of what was the group? Midnight Thugs, not Midnight Thugs. It was a group out of the projects, out of the Robert Taylor projects, and Marvell was they was pushed by Marvell at the time. And I was down there with Super. He was engineering Rome, and I had walked into the studio and I saw Zack, and that's when I met Zack, and he was recording. That's when he first started coming up with the Zack TV. He kept going and going and going, and he ended up building the brand by what he was doing. But M.O.P knew him a little bit more personal than I did because they come from the same area. M.O.P raised him.
All right, we're gonna let him get his camera together. All right, so M.O.P, you knew the famous Zack TV, man. Why don't you tell us about him?
Yeah, Zack and all them, they're from the neighborhood, man. That's boys from the neighborhood. Zack, Ron, all them, they from the neighborhood.
How did you feel when Zack TV was pronounced dead, bro?
The first thing, like, what somebody killed Zack for? That's the first thing that came to my mind. Why somebody killed Zack? You know, that was the first thing came to my mind. Like, I remember this number 312-536-1072. That was Zack last phone number.
So Zack TV picks up a camera and start recording Brothers in the Hood. What did you feel when you saw Zack doing that?
It was a good idea because there's a whole lot of talent in Chicago.
You know, one thing about me, man, while I was rapping, while I was in the city, I had actually picked up a camera that I got from my granddaddy. And I went around recording, you know, artists and all of that type of stuff, like way before Zack. Like I had some crazy footage on that DVD player. So I don't want to say that, you know, I was one of the first to get out here and talk to Chicago artists, but Zack took it to another level. When you saw him blowing up, what did you think?
Man, I thought he was gonna be like you see these other people out today, like the Blads and the Salamanes and maybe somewhere. I thought he was gonna be there.
All right, I got a question for you. Was Zack gang affiliated?
All right, now let's take that word by denotative meaning. Affiliated. You ain't gotta do nothing but hang with people to be affiliated. Nah. Was he a member? That wasn't Zack thing. That was what they were doing. That wasn't Zack thing, man.
All right, so Zack TV was killed leaving a nightclub, right?
Yep.
Where was you at when you heard about that death?
Man, where was I actually at when I heard about that? I was in the city, but hey, when they said it was like, actually knowing what they was doing, that was a lot. They was always doing that, going to them shows. He was actually with the people. It wasn't meant for him. See, that's what people don't understand. That wasn't so-called meant for him. But he just was riding with him because he was following him. He was doing some footage on him. So that's how that happened.
So Zack TV did not get killed because he was interviewing people.
For all actuality, that's what he got killed for, because of people he interviewed. And you know, people just be like, oh man, fuck that shit, man, just shoot at anybody. They like, man, you with him. You got people be like, you with the, it's Chicago. You with the ops, you become an op. That's it.
How did that affect you? Or affect Chicago as a whole?
I think it was a setback. And it really showed everybody what was going on when it comes to that music.
It's 2011, 2012. Drill music pops up on the scene. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? All right, so you said you met Lil Durk, right?
Yeah, I was throwing a concert. It was my daughter's sweet 16 birthday. And I was throwing a concert. Like I said, it was Rome. Shady had my flyers all over. I had my flyers all over the streets, all at the high schools, all at the schools. At the time, I had the show was gonna be at the concert, was gonna be at the cafe. I had end up having to be in meetings with the fire department, the police department, all because of who I had on the flyer at that time. I said, like, Keith, it was just really buzzing hard at the time. You know, he had that case where they say he put a gun on the police or whatever. Rome was making the name for himself in the streets, and then Shady, she had the song Go In, where it was her and Katie Got Bands was in the video, and they females with guns. Drill music was just crazy at the time. Actually, I didn't want to deal with that type of music. It was my kids that end up like making me like I guess I was stuck with the old way, and it's like you gotta come out of that and deal with modern times. And I don't knock it. And I remember DJs didn't want to play it, they didn't want to mess with it. They was all on Twitter and Instagram and everything, talking about this is the worst music ever. And the same DJs that said that they wasn't gonna play the music end up hopping on the bandwagon. And I guess that some will lie and say they forced their hand. Hey, I got another viewpoint to that. But hey, it is what it is. So drill music takes off. They closed me down that night at my show. I had to move my show immediately. I was finna just get my money back and just not do the show. But my daughter insisted, like, man, nah, please, Daddy, I want my party. It was so crazy. I ended up meeting this lady. I can't remember her name, but I know she had parents or somebody who had ownership in the Harold Washington Cultural Center. But they also had a cafe that they had down the street that was a little smaller that you can do events and concerts and stuff at. So I ended up paying her to open up. So I moved the party and sent out a major text blast real quick. The text blast went viral um, real fast, and it moved, and the party moved down there. So I ended up doing the party. Um, they end up coming down there, and Romy ended up performing. Bueller ended up performing. DJ Marvis was my DJ at the time. It was so crazy that I knew that people that really wanted to kill each other was in my building, but there was, I guess, out of respect for who I was, um, and how I orchestrated everything and was able to secure everything, make sure the security was top notch, and everything. Everybody was secure. That was by the grace of God. It was not a shooting or a death that night on my watch, you know, and due to how I handled things and the respect that those young guys had for me. Rome has a lot of respect for me, and the opposition and my young guys, they had a lot of respect for me. And it really hadn't got that bad at the time, but I know for a fact that it was oppositions, man, that was in that place that didn't get along. And the party was lit. They was partying together. You know what I'm saying? It was just lit. And
All
I
right.
had a partner. I had a partner at the time by the name of Great Lakes. Durk had just got out from the case that he caught, where they say he had a gun at the time. And Lakes was like, "Man, Durk out here." I'm like, "Let him in, bring him in." You know what I'm saying? Just bring him in. You don't even charge him. You know what I'm saying? Just walk him straight through. Let security know. I call security. Let him know. Hey, let him in. He good, because he was buzzing at the time. He had a song by the name of Polo Party. He was doing pretty decent, but it wasn't what he was what like it wasn't what I felt like. He had something more. So I met him. I ended up setting up a meeting with him the next day, with him, SB, Chino, D Thang, which is his brother, may he rest in peace. And I ended up going to Durk's grandma. A lot of them, by me working with LEP, wanted to sign with LEP. They was looking up to them at the time, but unfortunately things didn't go that way. And they wanted me to set up the deals to try to get them to sign with LEP. So I ended up getting Durk, and I ended up taking Durk to Bueller for production, because the production he had, it just wasn't where it was supposed to be. So I ended up taking him to Bueller. We ended up working on "I'm Still a Hitter." I think that was the mixtape. "I'm Still a Hitter." I ended up calling Sean Mack. Sean Mack ended up giving me a deal on hosting the mixtape at the time, because I had a good rapport with Sean Mack. And we actually did that mixtape in the living room. I met with them. We locked in. I took them to the radio station. I got the manager and them. We locked in. They liked what I was bringing to the table, what I was talking, and I just got them promoting them and going crazy and building this buzz up, um, and getting them to a place where I help increase his numbers and stuff like that. For just, like, his buzz and everything, and it just went from there.